You know what's kind of crazy? That sometimes we're not really scared of falling, we are scared of flying. I say that because I caught myself messing things up right at the edge of achieving something big. Like there's this little voice, this little whisper inside me saying, what if you can't keep it up? What if you can't? What if you can do it? What if people find out you're not as good as they think? What if people find this or think this? Everyone knows the fear of failure. Everybody has feeling this before, right? That frozen feeling when your mind screams, "What if I screw this up?" But it has a twin brother, just as strong but rarely mentioned, the fear of success. This is the twin, the fear of success. Yeah, it sounds contradictory, but how can someone be afraid of what they say they want most? Why this happens? And yet, it happens. It is like that. A lot more than you think. A lot more. Here's an interesting detail. The word success comes from the Latin exodus. Here's the root, which actually means exit. Success, exodus, exit. Not victory, not trophy, exit. Like success isn't a finish line, but more like a doorway out. You go away, you get out. And honestly, who hasn't felt that rush of vertigo when standing in front of a door that could change everything? And here's the irony. We make up stories to justify ourselves that success turns you into an arrogant person, that failure marks you forever, that only geniuses or lucky ones deserve to win, not you. So, see how those myths keep us stuck. They are myths, okay? They don't make you continue. They're like invisible change that pushes forward one step, pushes forward, then drag us two steps back. You go forward and then you go back again, two steps more. But what if fear of success and fear of failure are actually the same thing, just with different masks? Have you thought about it? Here's something that took me years to figure out. Both fears activate the same systems. Those fears, both of them, both fears activate the same systems in your brain. It's like your head has a big red button labeled danger, stop now. And it hits you, whether you're about to lose or about to win. Think about it. When you fear failing, when you're feeling this, you picture the embarrassment, the shame, the I told you so. I told you a lot of times. You picture this. So looks the empty wallet. But when you fear succeeding, your brain plays a different movie. More responsibility, more people watching you, more jealousy, a lot of jealousy, and less freedom. Same stress, just dressed differently. It's like standing in front of a roller coaster. Position like this, picture this out. It's like standing in front of a roller coaster. You're nervous because it might break. You're feeling afraid of this thought, but also because it might work perfectly and throw you into full of speed. Your body reacts the same either way. You sweat, you tremble, your heart races like you're about to die. You're feeling die. You're feeling dying. You feel that death is coming for you. Even though you're seconds away from pure adrenaline. There are only that. We've been taught that if you fail, your value is destroyed. And if you succeed, you have to keep that level forever. You can't go back. Do you see the hidden prison? The hidden poison? Sorry? Do you see it? Neither one is true, but both can stop you forever, can stop you before you even begin. Both can stop you, and that's not the point. So if our brains react the same way, what if we could learn to hack that mechanism and use it in our favor? We have to do it. We have to change this paradox. What if our brains could do this? Think about how society frames things. Failure as a permanent scar, success as a dangerous drug that changes you and separates you from others. It separates you from friends, people you love, family, etc. But when you look closely, you see most of these fears are made up myths. Stories we tell ourselves to justify staying stuck. Stories has the truth about it. We have to know this. The stories tell us failure means you lose. But honestly, who hasn't learned more from their mistakes than from their victories? That is a cliche phrase, but it's absolutely right. We learn from mistakes, for taking risk. We learn from that. Success will make you selfish and lonely. And yet, isn't it often a friend's success that inspires us to dream bigger? It's like those movies where the villain looks terrifying, and at the end you realize he's just misunderstood. You get to understand the problem of this villain. What make him do the things he did. Sorry. That it was a villain misunderstood, nothing else. That's how the myths of failure and success work. Inflated monsters made of air. We fear them until we face them head on. Believing these myths not only holds back, not only that, it steals our chance to grow because you learn from mistakes and that makes you grow, right? Because if you see failure as the end of everything, you'll never start and you'll never keep going. And if you see success as something that breaks you, you'll never cross that line. You have to be brave with this. So here's a thought. What if both failure and success carry hidden benefits that are way more powerful than the so-called risks? What if? For example, let's think about this. Let's say you launch a project. You put in time, energy, maybe a few $100s, okay, in courses or tool. You spend dollars on this project, and boom, it falls apart. Most people think I lost everything, my money, my time, everything. But if you dig deeper, wasn't that failure the thing that taught you what not to do next time? You couldn't see this if you haven't tried it. That's the hidden benefit. It gives you the answers. It gives you lessons success never could. So this is like an opportunity you have to take. Now, let's say things go well. Your project blows up and suddenly you're making more money than you ever dreamed. Think about this. It's blowing up. It's actually right. You get recognition, opportunities, freedom. That benefit is obvious, but there's a subtler one. There's a subtler one. Success forces you to grow, to sharpen your skills, to refine you, who you are. You're truly itself. You're truly self. It's like every victory is a mirror saying, time to level up. It's like working out muscle on the gym, and the pain isn't distraction, it's growth. Actually, it is growth. You can see it physically, right? Failure and success work the same way. They hurt, but they are shaping you, and it has its benefits. Here's the paradox. Maybe both failure and success are just different paths toward the same destination. Your own expansion. Yourself is expansion. And here's where it gets deeper. Behind both lies, failure and success, the same invisible mechanism in both fear of failure and fear of success. Both. You feel fear of both, of failure and for success. And they are triggered. Fear of failure and fear of success are triggered by the same part of the brain, the amygdala. That primitive alarm system that just wants to keep you safe. And safe to it means the same as yesterday. You don't move, you don't grow, you don't continue your life. It is the same as every day. You're not a new person, no. You continue just like the day before. That's why every time you're about to try something new, whether it's risking $100 on a side hustle or presenting a project at work, you feel anxious. Have you felt it? Not because it's bad, but because it's unknown. And the unknown is scary. The irony behind this is that the same instinct that once protected you from tigers thousands of years ago now stops you from posting a video on YouTube or launching your brand. It is the same fear that you have from tigers to do something new. The same fear. So try to think this and analyze what I'm saying to you. Here's a metaphor. Your brain is like a nightclub. Try to think about it. Like a nightclub bouncer. It doesn't care if the person at the door has good vibes or bad vibes. It just doesn't want the party inside to change. It doesn't want that. But it doesn't matter if the person is good or bad. So both failure and success show up like strangers on the door. And the bouncer eyes them with suspicion. The key is knowing this. Once you realize your mind will trigger the same alarm, whether you lose or win, you can prepare yourself. And when you expect it, the monster in the dark turns into a barking dog behind a fence. The small dog that it doesn't makes you feel scary. Actually, you laugh about it. Loud but harmless, right? It's only barking, but it doesn't bite you. So maybe the real dark side of fear isn't in the outcomes themselves, but in the chances we never take because we listen too much. We pay too much attention to what we listen, to what people say about everything. But you have to feel secure about what you want to do and think about and cross the line of the scary things and do it. Cross that line. Here's what happens. Fear of failure doesn't just make you doubt. It can turn you into an eternal planner. You hide in courses, in notebooks full of ideas, in the I'll start when I'm ready. I'll start on Monday because in that day I'm ready. I'll be ready. That are excuses. That is excuse. But you're never ready. You're never ready for anything. It's like living in a dress rehearsal that never becomes a real show. And fear of success, that one's even trickier, it can make you play small on purpose. You sabotage yourself with dumb excuses, submitting submitting the work late, procrastinating, scrolling down your cell phone on the couch, saying it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter if I scroll a little bit more, for 5 more minutes. Also, you don't have to deal with the pressure of shining. It's like owning a Ferrari and only driving it to the corner store. Only that. Both fears have the same dark side, both of them. They steal your life because in trying to avoid the pain of losing or the discomfort of winning, you get stuck in a limbo. You don't fall, you don't fly, you just exist on flat ground, safe but dull. You're safe, but you're stuck. You're stuck on the same things every day. Here's a tough truth. Many people live their entire lives in that limbo. All the life. The entire lives in that limbo. They never truly fail and they never truly succeed. From the outside, it looks safe, but inside it feels empty. Really, really empty. What you think about this as an older person and it comes this whisper to your mind, what did I do with my life? I get stuck. I get stuck every day on the same things. It was safer, but it was empty. So here's my question. What's scarier, messing up or going years without ever discovering what you could have done or could have achieved? You have to discover those things, what you are made of. That's where we hit a paradox no one tells you in school. Both failure and success hurt, just in different ways. Failure hurts your pride because it exposes you. Success hurts because it forces you to leave behind all parts of yourself for you to change and be better. Old habits, sometimes even old friends. Because you're growing and that's part of everything. It's like moving to a new home, leaving the place you grew up in can feel heartbreaking. Even if the new apartment is bigger and brighter, it's beautiful. That contrast stings you because you celebrate moving forward while grieving what you leave behind. It is a grief, actually, because these are the process of your life, and every process has a grief, and you feel it. You can feel that. So here's the paradox. We avoid failure to avoid pain, but we also avoid success to avoid pain. Both are the same. See the game? Can you see it? Same fear, different masks. And the craziest part in trying to protect ourselves from pain, we also block ourselves from joy, excitement, fulfillment. And a simple example, some people don't ask for a raise because they fear hearing no. They are fear of hearing this word. But what happens if you try it? Maybe it's a no, but what is going to happen? So it could be so bad. But they also don't ask because they fear hearing yes and carrying more responsibility. So you put on the balance. In the end, they stay stuck at the same salary, quietly frustrated, and this is for years because you don't try it. Because you have fear. It's only that you have to cross the line of fear and your world will expand, believe me. So I ask you, how many opportunities have you let slip? Not because failure was dangerous, but because success would have shaken up your world too much. How many opportunities have you slipped away? Now, now I want to take you and try to think even deeper. Let's go even deeper. Let's talk about values because in the end, both fears collide with what we value most in life. Collide with this. If your top value is security, losing money, reputation, or stability will terrify you. But if your top value, is freedom, success might scare you more than failure. Because it feels like new change, commitments, expectations, people depending on you. Is commitment. Okay? So think about this. What are the top values that you had? Here's an example and think and analyze this. Imagine your dream is to make $10,000 a month. That is your dream and your objective and your purpose. To make $10,000 a month with your business. Sounds amazing, right? But if your hidden value is peace of mind, you suddenly ask yourself, what if making that much ties me down to more hours, more hires, no time for myself? What happens? Suddenly, success feels like a betrayal of what you really want. It looks like that in one moment. It's like playing Jenga. Have you played it? Every time you go higher, the base wobbles, right? Your values are those bottom blocks. If they're not solid, every move feels shaky. If they're not solid. So here's the thing. The key is alignment. You have to be aligned with this. When you're clear about what you truly value, love, freedom, security, adventure, you can decide if the risk, the failure, or the success is worth it. You have to think. You first of all have to think on this. To have clear your values, so you know what is worth for you. If you're not clear, every step feels like a leap into the void. So here's the big question. How much of your fear is really yours? And how much is just borrowed from values other people put on you? Try to think on this question. Which are from your values and what are from other people's? That you believe these things. And then comes the hardest part, identity. And that is the main of everything. Because fear of failure and fear of success aren't just fears about external results. They are fears about becoming someone different. So let's try not to think like a fear. Instead of this, think like something that push you forward. Okay, like someone is pushing you. Failure hits your identity hard. If I mess up, it means I'm not enough. That is my identity. I'm useless. I don't matter for anyone. It's not the mistake itself, it's what you think it says about you. That's the whole point. So, success hits from the opposite side. If I win, I won't be the same person anymore. Will my friends still like me? Will my family respect me? What if they find out I'm not as capable as they think? These questions comes to your mind and they are starting like whisper. So these keep you stuck on the same every day. That's the infamous imposter syndrome. Have you heard about it? The imposter syndrome? You succeed, and instead of celebrating this success, you wonder when people will discover it was all luck. This is the syndrome, imposter syndrome. It's like an actor moving from small roles to the lead part. Suddenly, the whole world sees them differently. And they start doubting if they even belong there. The fear isn't in the spotlight. It's in asking, who am I now? And who I want to be? And who I was? I want to still in the who am I now? I want to move forward or I want to go back. Here's the twist. Both fears are mirrors of your identity. One says you're not enough, the other says you're too much. And stuck between those two extremes, you live stuck on those extremes. Many people freeze, afraid to make any move. Many people. And they spend their lives on that freeze moment. But what if you stopped seeing your identity as something fixed and started seeing it as a work in progress? What do you think about it? So let me wrap this up with a soft punch to the gut. Neither fear of failure nor fear of success is the real enemy. None of them. The real villain is staying frozen, stuck between those two shadows. That is the real villain, the real enemy, to be stuck. While your life runs on an autopilot. Once you realize failure gives you information and success gives you transformation, you stop running and start walking. Whether you trip or rise, you're still moving forward. You continue moving forward. It's like standing before two doors. One says it's in my heart. The other says it might change you. Both are scary and you feel scary and you don't want what to do. You don't know what to do. You feel scared. Both are difficult. One door in my heart and the other it might change me. What can I do? And both are true. But behind both doors is the same room, your growth. And that's the whole point of everything, your growth. You will grow with these fears, with these two doors. You will grow. Here's how I put it. Failure shows you who you're not. Success shows you who you could become. Okay? Failure, who you're not, and success, who you will be. And if you embrace both, your identity stops being a prison and turns into a blank canvas. You get to paint it however you want. You do what you want with your life. You have the control of your life. So next time you feel that vertigo before a big step, ask yourself, do I want to stay the spectator of my own life or risk being the main character and have the control of everything? Because at the end of the day, the question isn't, what if I fail? Or what if I succeed? The question that really matters is, what if I never even try?